Thanks very much, Dave. Live from Pasadena. And Auburn's impressive and very surprising 12-1 season could be the biggest turnaround in college football history. Alexandra Vitale continues our team coverage by taking a look back at the Tigers' 2013 winning ways. Alex?
That's right, Jason. A lot has changed since last season for the Auburn Tigers, from Gene Chizik being fired after that disastrous 3-9 season, from the hiring of head coach Gus Malzahn, and now they have a new quarterback, Nick Marshall, and could very well end up with a national title. Time now to recap Auburn's impeccable season. Last year at this time, Auburn had finished their 3-9 season and was sitting at home watching Alabama and Notre Dame prepare to play for a BCS national title. But this year, how the tables have turned.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what.
The Tigers have only one loss this entire season and are ranked second in the country, preparing to play #1 Florida State for the Crystal Ball. From the Miracle at Jordan-Hare Stadium.
It's 4th and 18 with 36 seconds to go.
I was thinking we had it. Knew all we had to do was make a couple more stops.
Get them to 4th and 18. It's almost as good as it gets.
Somebody got to make a play. Those were the words that Coach said to us.
We had a big one over the top in case they blitzed and went zero. We had a dig right at the sticks, and we had a check down just to try to draw the guys. But we were thinking big one to the dig to Sammy. And, I just heard in the huddle that Ricardo said, give me a chance.
He looked me dead in my eyes and told me that he wanted the ball. I said, Nick, throw me the ball. Throw me the ball. I looked in Dennis for you. I trust you. Throw me the ball. I'm going to make a play.
Here's your ball game. Nick Marshall stands in, steps up.
I seen 3 safeties in the corner bail off and come on, trying to cover me too. And I put my trust in him and deliver the ball.
Got to throw downfield, just a home run ball.
I judged the ball, and at first I was like, I'm gonna jump for it.
I was just praying to God that somehow we get a first down. I wasn't really thinking about a touchdown.
When the pass was in the air, I was like, okay, they're gonna bat it down, and it's over.
It is tipped up, and Lewis got it on the deflection. Lewis is gonna score. Lewis is gonna score.
They batted it, and dude got lucky and caught it, and so I couldn't believe what the ball. I was looking in the air, and I finally spotted it, and landed right in my hands. It was over my shoulder, really, and it was just unbelievable.
Touchdown, Auburn! A miracle in Jordan-Hare! A miracle in Jordan-Hare!
And who could forget this play? Alabama and Auburn in the Iron Bowl with 1 second left on the clock and the game tied at 28. Alabama lined up to attempt a field goal, and then this happened.
56-yarder. Does not have the leg. And Chris Davis takes it in the back of the end zone. He'll run it out to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what.
And on January 6th, the Tigers will have a chance to shock the world one more time if they beat Florida State in the BCS title game.
And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there.
And the man on the field leading his team through the winning season, quarterback Nick Marshall. Dave Plata takes a look at the player who had a surprising start to his career.
All right, Alex, the Auburn offense has been a machine this year, averaging 505 yards total offense per ball game, and that includes a best-in-the-nation 335 yards rushing a contest. And 40-plus points a game. The zone read, it can be devastating to defenses, but it is devilishly difficult to run. Who'd have thought the nation's most explosive and complicated offense would be run by a player who had to learn it on the fly? New head coach Gus Malzahn came into the season with a dilemma. Who would play quarterback and run the sophisticated zone read offense? Malzahn turned to a junior college transfer who came in cold with no chance to get his feet wet in spring practice, Nick Marshall. He was admittedly a little nervous about the learn-on-the-job part of things.
The zone read, from a coach's standpoint, with a new quarterback, you worry about putting the ball on the ground because there's a lot goes to it. But you could just tell he had a knack.
It was very tough because coming in, I didn't know anything about the offense. It probably took me the second week of practice to get used to the offense, but as I got used to it, I just able to play my game.
It wasn't quite that easy or that quick. Marshall struggled a bit in the opener against Washington State, especially through the air. But he also showed what he could do on the ground.
You know, we were like, all right, well, man, he's probably going to get sacks. And then you're like, well, he's not going to ever get sacked. I mean, it's one of those things where you have to always be alert. And, you know, I think that makes the offense a little more fun.
A lot of that fun comes not from the gridiron, but the basketball court. Marshall was a two-time Georgia single-A state player of the year at Wilcox County, where he averaged 28 points a game.
When we signed him, we knew he was a good athlete. You know, just transition that over to the quarterback position.
He's probably one of the best basketball players, I guess, I think, on our campus. I remember watching him in high school. He's a force on the basketball court.
The basic, like, crossover that I have in basketball, I just kind of take that into football, like, use some of that on the football field. Like, it gives me an advantage on some people, but it's just some just natural talent that I have that God blessed me with.
Once he gets out in space and one-on-one situations, he's extremely hard to tackle. And he's very tough. You know, he's a very good athlete, but he's very tough.
He proved just how tough in the final 2 minutes of the Mississippi State game in Week 3. That's when the Tigers got firmly on the Marshall bandwagon and the Gus bus.
We really saw that in the Mississippi State game whenever we drove down at the end of the game to score and win the game. I think that's really whenever guys started believing it, because it's one thing to hear it, but once it actually happens, that's whenever it really sinks in and guys really start, you know, trusting in that.
Certainly nothing has happened since then has dimmed the enthusiasm of the Tigers or of the praise for the way Marshall has run the offense.
His ability to, you know, scramble out, make plays. You saw in the Missouri game, even the first touchdown pass to Sammy, he was able to get out of some trouble and find Sammy in the end zone. So I think that helps us out a lot in terms of, you know, passing, allowing the receivers to get that much more open. Also in the run, you know, with the read zone, people will be worried about Trey every now and then he'll pull it, make somebody miss, and take it to the house. You know, I think that helps our offense and makes it that much more dynamic.
Now, Marshall and the Tiger offense, they're going to have to be really dynamic tomorrow night, because what they have to do is outscore one of the nation's most prolific offenses. It's a Florida State Seminoles squad that's averaging 53 points a ball game. That's a tall order, but remember, the Tigers have pulled off some amazing wins this season. Barbara, Jason?
Yeah, everybody looking for more amazing stuff tomorrow night. All right, Dave, thank you so much. And coming up here on our BCS special, we'll take a look at how FSU made it to the BCS championship game.
Plus, we'll hear from Heisman Trophy winner Jameis Winston, who led the Seminoles to an undefeated season so far. Welcome back to our BCS special. The Auburn Tigers face some tough competition as they fight to bring home the Crystal football and become national champions.
Alexandra Vitale joins us now to take a look at the Florida State Seminoles and how they earned their trip to Pasadena. Alexandra?
That's right, Barbara. The Seminoles are the only team in the country with a perfect regular season record. It's time now to recap FSU's phenomenal season. Led by fourth-year head coach Jimbo Fisher, the Florida State Seminoles are just one game away from becoming the BCS national champions.
Excited about playing Auburn. We've got a great opponent. Watching them on film, they're dynamic and make plays on offense, defense, special teams. Won games in a lot of different ways, and very well coached, and be a great opportunity and great challenge for our team.
And a complete beatdown against Duke in the ACC championship, the Seminoles did exactly what was expected of them.
Touchdown!
Florida State ground Duke to fine powder with its rushing game. Jimbo Fisher also torched the Blue Devils secondary by cutting his wide receivers loose for Jameis Winston to find all over the field. The Seminoles have been on a mission all season long. And on a night where Ohio State went down and the Auburn Tigers outlasted Missouri, the Noles reminded the nation they were #1 for a reason.
We don't believe in just being complacent or just thinking like, okay, we got this in the bag. We got to get better every single day.
This Florida State team is special. In winning by at least almost 40 points per game, the idea of the Noles as one of the most dominant of the BCS era remains a true possibility. The next step for the 13-0 Seminoles is Pasadena. While many are calling Auburn a team of destiny, Florida State is simply a team of talent and focus. The national title will be a battle between destiny and domination. And leading FSU through their undefeated season, the most impressive debut to the ACC most definitely belongs to redshirt freshman Jameis Winston. Here's why.
The hype for Jameis Winston is as much as I've ever seen for a first-year starting quarterback.
It's been an incredibly successful season for Florida State freshman quarterback Jameis Winston.
Florida State on a roll, looking for O'Leary. It's a touchdown, and Jameis Winston's first touchdown toss. Winston instead will pull it out and throwing for the second time tonight. Winston into the end zone, touchdown Florida State.
That success has been ongoing the entire season, most recently in the ACC championship game against Duke, where he set the single-season record for the ACC and among FBS freshmen for passing touchdowns in a season, and also set the FBS single-season passing yardage record among freshmen. Winston now has 38 touchdowns this year with 1 game to go. For his efforts against Duke, Winston was named the ACC Championship Game MVP.
As a teammate and just having guys right here beside me, our team is trying to make history. We're not just trying to look at individual stats and things like that. Like, we trying to do something so much bigger than this.
With accomplishments like that, it's not really a surprise he won the Heisman Trophy this season.
When you watch someone work so hard for something and be so team-oriented, not individual-oriented, it reinforces that the good things happen to the good guys.
Another interesting fact about Winston is that he also plays baseball. He was drafted by the Texas Rangers in the 15th round of the 2012 Major League Baseball draft right out of high school, but he decided to go to college instead. Winston is a pitcher and outfielder for FSU, one of the top college baseball programs in the country.
2-1 from Strode. Hit on the ground, right side, through base hit. Bulwer is going to head to third. Winston's going to try and gut him out, and he does! What a throw from right field. Jameis Winston.
Winston has led his team to a perfect 13-0 season and a trip to the BCS national title game in Pasadena, California, where he looks to get one more win on the season. All right, we'll be finding out soon enough if Winston will be able to keep Florida State's winning ways going. Game time is less than a day away. Guys, back to you.
All right, we're getting excited. Thanks very much, Alexandra. And coming up on Auburn Glory Bound.